This is a clip from one of our most recent episodes. For full episodes and more, please check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and YourVibesPodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy. This episode is sponsored by Dixon Dog Mom, a local in-home pet care service providing daily dog walks and overnight house sitting. You can enjoy a peace of mind knowing that your four-legged family members will receive loving care while you work or travel. See for yourself why countless animals and their humans trust Kelly and her team of pet care professionals. Schedule your meet and greet today to create a custom pet care plan and receive 20% off your first service when you mention Your Vibes Podcast. Find them on their socials at Dixon Dog Mom and online at DixonDogMom.com. And I think that, kind of just fade right into it is from talking to you previously, and Matt, your podcast producer as well too, is that's kind of, I guess, why you started the podcast as well, as far as just maybe providing some clarity about some things going on in town.
Yeah, during the fuel depot things last year before last, there was a lot of disinformation that was put out there, through some of these sites, Hip Dixon, Hip Burns, and some of those sites. And, I got to thinking there has to be some kind of something that allows people to get it from the horse's mouth, so to say, what's really going on, so we can dispel some of these rumors that are going around, and at that time there was really nothing, there was nothing available to anybody. So I decided, let's try this. Let's try this. Do a podcast, a video live podcast, and allow people to call in to ask some of these people some questions about, what's going on. I've had the sheriff on. I've had director of schools on, Danny Weeks. I've had Michael Curcio on, our state representative, and Kerry Roberts, our state senator. I've had some other guests on, I just think that, we need a place where people can come and tell you exactly kind of what's going on in their area of expertise, So, I think it's a good thing. I think some people are watching and seeing kind of what's going on. I've got Bob Ryle actually coming up on August the 6th.
Cool.
So
that'll be a good one. He's such a funny dude.
I know he is.
He's a goof. He's good on the mic, and he's very attuned to playful banter as well too. So I think that should be a good episode.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
So what were your thoughts around just kind of podcast to podcast? I guess in your mind's eye, the whole vision of why you wanted to do it, it was a necessity to include the video and the call-in option, because it wasn't just you asking a guest questions. It was you wanted the entire community's input. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. And, we're only, 6, 7 shows in or whatever, and it takes a while for people to get used to, okay, this is going to be on at this time. I can call in and ask questions. We knew that was going to take some time. So we're just going to, navigate that and see how that goes moving forward or whatever. But
are y'all getting some participation in the call-ins or
some? It seems like that most of the views are after the fact, and it's just, I guess it's just difficult to get people, used to at a certain time listening to a podcast or whatever, So we're hoping to get to that point, maybe in 6 months or so.
Sure.
We'll see how that goes. And then, we'll, once we get through about 6 months, we'll have some repeat guests just to see what's going on, like the sheriff. He wants to come back.
Cool.
Of course, it's a little easier right now because everybody's up for re-election, so everybody kind of wants to come.
Everybody needs that FaceTime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What were your? This is just me thinking off the top of my head. As far as the time slot, the 11:30 to 12:30 slot, I know that's kind of a lunch hour for people. So do you think that may be I don't know, any kind of hindrance? Like maybe if you did it at like a 10 o'clock where people are at their, in their office or something?
Yeah, we're going to try, actually in August, we're going to move to Friday at 12 to 1.
Okay.
And try to bill it as, spend your lunchtime with us on Friday.
Cool.
And, we'll see how that goes. We're experimenting and just see what will work best for this community.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
I mean, God, the amount of experimenting that, I've done just with this, and, and what people don't realize is it's more than just buy a microphone and plug it up. Besides having the capability to talk to somebody for an extended period of time, it's quality of mic, it's editing,
No
it's
doubt.
software, it's promo. I spend a lot of time on marketing designs, for covers and
Right.
advertising and stuff like that as well through Canva and several other things. And it's keeping up, and analyzing your analytics and what worked and why did it work. So it's not as plug and play as a lot of people
Right.
think it is.
And you go video live, it just doubles everything. Or triples
I can't
everything.
imagine. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, that's knocking at my door, and I can't really put a finger on as to why I would really need to do that quite yet, because I'm not to the point, and I haven't. It's not really in the business plan to have people call in just quite yet.
Right.
It's a different format, but I have, the reason I bought the equipment that has the capability for it is because I have been contacted by a couple people, some publishers, some newspaper people, just some kind of people who, I guess, some bloggers who want to add a spin into their written format.
Sure.
and have me go out and interview who they're blogging about or whatever it
Yeah.
may be, and have an audio
Yeah,
portion
sure.
to it as well. So I don't know where it's going to go, where it's going to expand, but it's a creative outlet that was a necessity, and I think you kind of felt that as well too.
Yeah, and I've talked to you this a little bit before, but we've started a YouTube channel called the Dixon News Network. Here's my goal. Now, whether we can do it or not, you have to everybody cooperate. But I would like a place where everybody could put all of their stuff into one place, so people just have to go to one place to view my podcast, view your podcast, view the county's podcast or whatever you call it for the commission meetings, the city, and different things like that. So that's something I'm kind of working towards, and we'll see how that kind of develops. But everybody would still maintain their own, but this would just be one place everybody could click and find everything going on in Dixon County about all the podcasts, all the meetings, everything, so they're not searching around everywhere. So
Like an aggregate platform of
Yes,
sorts. Yeah.
yes.
That everybody kind of, with some sort of podcast or, show or whatever it may be, that you can consolidate all that.
Correct.
I think it's a lovely idea because it helps everybody.
Yes.
It helps everybody. You're not trying to push or pull people in any sort of direction.
Right.
You just send them there. And then if they want to branch out, and get into a specific one or two or however many podcasts, if they resonate with somebody and, want to jump in and buy their merch or, read their news article or whatever it may
Right.
be, they can kind of go from there. I mean, it's kind of like, what you're seeing around, Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, except it's more just county based,
Right.
In there. So do you know, how many podcasters there are in Dixon right now?
Well, it seems like there's somebody else that's doing one. I know it's you and I, and
Richard.
yeah, and I think there may be one or two others
Okay.
that's doing it right now. But I'd really want like the county's meetings to be on there, the city's meetings to be on there. The planning commission meetings to be on there. So everybody's got one place they can go, and they can
Here's
look at
everything
everything.
you need to know about Dixon County.
That's it.
Right here.
That's it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and I've had some, people send me messages. Thank you for, we're new, and there's a lot of new people in Dixon County. Thank you because we're just trying to figure out Dixon County and what's out there and who runs it, blah blah blah, and so and that's what it's for, to give people information about what's going on in Dixon County.
Absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head when you said we got people coming from out of town. I mean, the amount of, and yours as well, what surprised me the most and what I didn't even think about was realtors using it as marketing, sending out to their clients, like, here's a podcast that tells all about the county. You know, they've got elected officials on there, they've got contractors, or, you know, whatever else, business owners. And if you want to know what's really going on in the county, here's, you know, a long form conversation with somebody that you're going to probably be dealing with when you move here. You know, is that something you want to do? And, you know, I've got a couple emails from some realtors saying that, you know, that people are moving from Florida because of the podcast. Or got a call from a contractor the other day, actually, that said he closed on a huge piece of property. No, but they didn't know who the contractor was. They didn't know who I was, and they somehow stumbled on the on the podcast and heard the contractor.
You never know who's going to.
You never know. And it makes a huge difference in the community, and more people need to do it. You know, I think that adding a perspective, you know, everybody's own individual creative outlet. You just never know. Especially in this kind of small town, there's and with especially the people who are generational here have kind of found their cliques a little bit, you know, and they kind of grow. But you know, there's those people, you know, that just kind of float around. I don't really have a clique. I just float around like an amoeba, you know. And but having people with those creative outlets, you kind of find these different avenues through Dixon of just some really creative people that you know, need more light shined on them. Thanks again to Dixon Dog Mom for sponsoring this episode. Be sure to reach out to Kelly to schedule your initial meet and greet today. And remember, you can receive 20% off your first service when you mention Your Vibes Podcast. If you're interested in sponsoring an episode, please reach out to me directly via email at yourvibespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening, and always remember, stay vibey, my friends.